Hey everybody, welcome to The Goofy Guy, and if you're wondering what it's like to be in Walt Disney during COVID, well, I just got back, so I'm here to talk about it right now. Hey everyone, I'm Jim Spangler, the Goofy Guy, and I just returned from a trip to Walt Disney World. And if you want to know the first part, this is the second part of an update, and if you want to know the first part of the update, if you want to hear the beginning of my trip, you can listen to it right there. There should be a little thing right there that you can click and see the video of part 1 of this, of my first few days on my journey at Walt Disney World. And this time I'm going to focus on the end and then my overall thoughts of what I thought of my trip to Walt Disney during the time of COVID, because it is definitely an interesting time to be in Disney World right now. So on my fourth day, which I guess was Thursday, at Walt Disney World, I decided to head to EPCOT. I love the Food and Wine Festival. I know that was going on right now, and I wanted to see what was happening as far as construction goes and everything else that's happening. And besides, I just like the World Showcase. I like Future World too, but really, my favorite is going around World Showcase and all the different foods and the shopping and everything else that's going on there. So I decided I'd give EPCOT a try. Give it a try, like it's something that, I'm just going to try it for the first time or something. Oh, I love EPCOT. I think it's a great place. It's very cool. When I got to EPCOT, it is, to say the least, a little bit of a disaster zone right now in Future World. I have to be honest with you, the Esplanade coming in, the entrance way is gorgeous. All the new planters, all of that new work that they've done is really beautiful, and I can hardly wait until I get that fountain in front of Spaceship Earth finished. You can see the spire standing up over the construction walls right now, and when they get that fountain going, it really is going to be a beautiful area. And of course, they're still playing that amazing entrance music that they've been playing since 1982, which I love. It just totally sets the tone for me, and I would miss it so much if they decided to change it. I just think that it is EPCOT to me. That music just speaks to me of EPCOT. But I'll be honest, Future World is a disaster right now. It is truly a disaster right now. There are so many construction walls and so much construction happening that it's hard to find your way around and know where you should be going. There are buildings that are being torn up, and you can see that. There are just walls up for what you assume are no reason, because they're not sure what to do now that they're not going to build that festival center in the middle, right now. Doesn't mean that they won't eventually build it, but right now it's not going up, obviously. And it is really confusing. So I decided to go to the right, which is... I wanted to go to where the seas is and where the land and the Imagination Pavilion are. And I thought that I would hit the other side a little bit later. It's really weird. I just have to say, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just really weird. And I personally didn't like it. I didn't want to stay around. I didn't want to stay in that part of the park. I did go to the land because I love the land, and I did do Living with the Land because that is actually my favorite ride at EPCOT. I think it is the most true to what Walt wanted EPCOT to be about that edutainment piece of it. But even it was not in great shape. It really needs some refurb. There were some things that were just not working. There was narration that was just completely missing. We also, there were lights that were not on, so we're going through the rainforest, and you can see some things, but a lot of things you couldn't see. So it had some problems. And once you get past all that beginning narration and such, when we got into where the plants are in the gardens and the greenhouse section, it was fine. It was exactly what it always is, and I love that section. I love seeing all the different plants and the way that they're using them and growing them, and all that. If you haven't ever done the behind the scenes tour, it's well worth it. It's a really inexpensive tour. I think it's $20, maybe $25 now, and they take you on a walking tour of that greenhouse. It is really amazing. Well worth the money to spend. But I still enjoyed the living with the lands. I always love living with the land. But it definitely is. It needs a little. The beginning of it needs a little zhuzhing. Let's say just a little zhuzh. Just a few things that need to be fixed. After that, I decided to just kind of wander towards imagination. I happen to love Figment. He's one of my favorite characters, but I think I love Figment because of the first iteration of the Imagination Pavilion, which I think a lot of people share. So I didn't go in this time. That's okay. A lot of times I don't ride that ride, but really, the area around there looked pretty good. It's very clean. The reverse waterfall was running full. There weren't any missing spouts or anything, so it looked great. And I thought, well, great, so let's just continue on. I was dying for some coffee, so I thought, well, we'll just continue on. So I went on down to the Starbucks. I saw the new bathrooms. The new bathrooms are lovely, so much nicer than other bathrooms. My favorite bathrooms are back at the American Pavilion to the right. As you're looking at the American Pavilion, go to the right and hit those bathrooms. Those are really nice bathrooms, and there's never anybody in there. It's crazy. They're huge bathrooms, and nobody's ever in there. So I did that. The new Starbucks is fine. It's small, but it does the job. You just line up, and it's just a window. It's just a walk-up window, which is all good. So then I thought I would make my way around World Showcase. Because as I said, I love the Food and Wine Festival, and I wanted to hit all of the different booths. Like I said, it was a Thursday, and unfortunately not all the booths were open. As I went, only about half of them were open, and there were people there. It's not like there were not a lot of people there. I mean, there was a big line to get into the Mexican Pavilion, yes, you heard that, to get into the Mexican Pavilion. So there were people there. I don't quite understand what the thinking is of not having that open, because a lot of people would definitely purchase. I mean, the booths that were open had lines and people were buying. So I don't know what that was all about. It kind of gave it a weird feeling, which we'll talk about more at the end of this. But it definitely was kind of weird. The countries were fine. For the most part, everything was pretty much open, and normal. I didn't go into the Mexican Pavilion because, to be honest with you, I didn't want to wait in a line to get into the Mexican Pavilion. Usually I will go in there because I enjoy the Mexican Pavilion, and I love the boat ride and all the shopping that you can do in there. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place. Norway was fine. A little weird that you couldn't meet Anna and Elsa, but everything else was fine. There was, everything was fine. The Frozen ride was fine, was running. Everything seemed to be going just fine. They have changed that shop a little bit, which is not bad. The whole back of the shop is now Frozen, and the whole front of that shop is Norway. So that has changed a little bit, but I think all for the better. China was China. I love that pavilion. It's beautiful. I had a Tipsy Ducks in Love, which is my favorite drink at the parks. It's so good. If you haven't had it, it's at the little tea kiosk across from China. So good. And it is still beautiful. The grounds are beautiful. I found a little space to the right once you go into China to sit on a bench in the shade and have my drink and just kind of enjoy the gardens there. I just love it there. It's just beautiful. So China was great. Hardly anything in the African section, it's not really a pavilion, but you know what I'm talking about, was open. There was one place to get drinks that was open. And the guy that does all the wood carving was there carving wood, but really it's a little desolate at the moment. The Germany pavilion was fine. I did go into the Werther's store and got their gingerbread salted caramel cream cheese cookie. It may be my favorite snack ever at the World Showcase. It was so good. It was so good that I only ate half of it because it was so rich, and I took it home. And usually when that happens, a lot of times I can't finish it, but I actually finished it when I got home. So good. And the other countries were fine. Italy was fine. Oh, well, and at the German, I should say that they did have the pop-up annual pass shop. To me, it was just kind of meh. I wasn't really interested in anything that was in there. I didn't really like the magic bands that they had on sale. There was just nothing that was really interesting to me. And I'm a shopper. But, yeah, so I didn't really get anything in that. But I did go look around and check it out. I guess they're going to do more of that in not only Epcot, but other parks. Which I guess it's okay. You have to have an annual pass to get in. So Italy was fine. I didn't do a lot. There's just not a lot open. I couldn't get any pizza. I usually love to go to the window and get pizza right there, but that wasn't open. So it, the American Pavilion was fine. I did see the American Adventure. I don't usually go see that show. I've seen it so many times, and they've made some great updates to the Golden Dream montage that they do at the end of that. Some really good additions to that to keep it current and keep it up to date. Really good. Worth seeing, just if for no other reasons for that. Really worth seeing. They did a really nice job with it. Morocco was lovely. Japan was lovely. Morocco, Tangerine Cafe is not open, which is hard on me because I'm a vegetarian, and so that's a great place for me to get food. But at this moment, it's not open. It's just the way it is. Japan was lovely, as it always is. I went in to the department store, and I love that department store. There's always great things in there. I didn't spend a whole lot of time because I felt like it was a little crowded. I didn't think they were doing a great job of controlling numbers. And other stores, they were really trying to control numbers of people in. But that one, they really, I didn't feel like they were overly concerned about numbers. So, France was France. It was great. I love France. There's both food kiosks, both food quick service places are open. Chefs de France had just opened. So it was doing well. It's a little sad to see Ratatouille. It's back there. And I've talked about it in my news broadcast. As a matter of fact, if you click right there, I think it's right there, you'll see, you can see this last news broadcast where we talk a little bit about Ratatouille and what's happening with that ride. So it was fine. It was lovely. As always is. I actually spent a little bit more time in France. I had some champagne and just sat and relaxed and enjoyed, watched people and all of that. Then I went across the bridge. United Kingdom is okay. I did get to see Mary Poppins in the back. If you don't know, she is at the pavilion in the back. You can't go up and get a selfie with her, but she will talk to you, and you can get a selfie from a distance with her. And they're trying some new things with Alice, putting Alice in some different locations for the same thing. So that was really nice. I then went into the pavilion that they have, the showcase pavilion, and that's where they had a few more food kiosks set up in there. They had a food and wine favorites kiosk. They had a macaroni and cheese one. They had a dessert one. And I forget what the last one was, but they also had a piano player, and there was just really nice, really open. Not a lot of people in there, surprisingly enough. The macaroni and cheeses were great. I got one of the pops, the cake pops that they're putting in nitro. I don't forget what it's, the cold stuff. So they dip it in and it comes out and it's all smoking and stuff. And that was good. That was really tasty. I got mine with M&Ms in case you're curious. So that was really tasty. Canada is basically closed up, right? Because they're not showing the movie. And so it's just basically not happening. The stores at the top of, when you go up the stairs, were not open. The restaurant is open, I believe. Le Cellier is open. I think it is. And then so I had worked my way around World Showcase. I then decided to go to the other side of Future World, where Test Track is, and where Mission Space, and where they're doing the construction on Guardians of the Galaxy and the Play Pavilion. It was fine, but like I said, there's just so much construction happening. It just doesn't feel right. There's so much construction happening, so many walls up. It's just really weird. It's weird to see, the inside of a building that they're tearing down, or changing so much. Mouse gear is being completely redone. The donut box was not open. I was really disappointed in that. I wanted to try some things from there. I'd heard so many good things. And then I went to Mouse Gear and did a little bit of shopping. I know it's a temporary place, so it's not really fair to judge Mouse Gear at all. So I'll just keep that to myself. So that was my Epcot day. Not great. I did enjoy it because I enjoy Epcot. And it was nice to just kind of get some time to relax. But really, for the most part, it's just a lot of construction. Just a lot of things still closed. Just like I said about the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. So, hey, before I move on to the last park, Animal Kingdom, be sure you hit that subscribe button below and that notification icon and smash that like button. It really helps this channel and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Anyway, so the last day, we'll just skip ahead because that evening I forget what I had for dinner that evening. It doesn't matter what I had for dinner. So I did Animal Kingdom on my last day, and you need to know Animal Kingdom is my favorite place. I love Animal Kingdom, and I had a really nice time. They have the new AI things where you just walk through, you keep your bag on and stuff, you just walk through. I love that new system. That's great. There was a lot of stuff closed, but for some reason at Animal Kingdom it didn't feel as off as others. I think maybe because Animal Kingdom a lot of times has their quick service and kiosks and some places closed. So that didn't really bother me. I wrote Flight of Passage. I waited, I think, 45 minutes in line. It's well worth it. And that line keeps moving. Since there is no fast pass, the line just continuously moves, which is really nice. I forgot how good that ride was. As many times as I've ridden it, I got off it, I was still wowed by it. It's still so amazing. Such a great ride. I didn't do Navi River Journey. I love that ride, but I don't think it's worth an hour in line for a 2-minute boat ride. Just don't. And I love that audio animatronic at the end. That shaman is amazing. But so then I went back and I decided to do the safari. I went to Africa, did the safari. I literally walked on the safari. I think I waited 2 minutes in line for the safari. It said it was a 10-minute wait. It was not. And surprisingly, as warm as it was, the animals were out. So that was really nice. I had a really nice time with that. They've got the new dogs. The new painted dogs are gorgeous. Such a great place and really, really well done. The new building that they're building, they mentioned it. They talked about how you can use your own, things around you to create your own, environment to help the animals and stuff. That was nice. I then went over to, that Harambe Market is all closed. Not open at all. I then went over and just took some video of the water ride. I don't really like Kali River Rapids, so I didn't ride it. And then went on to Everest. I love Everest. It's one of my favorite rides, if not my favorite ride in the parks. So that was nice. That was a great time. But still, like I said, a lot of things closed. A lot of things just not open, and it just feels weird. With no Fast Pass Plus, things are moving. The standby lines are moving along, which is nice that they keep moving. And then I went to Dino Land, and I love Dino Land. I know there are a lot of people who do not like Dinorama. I love it. I love the story behind it. If you don't know what that is, you need to find out. Maybe I'll make a video about that. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to make a video about that. It's so good. I just love it. It's so cheesy and fun and full of good humor. Really a lot of fun. And I actually think that's probably, Dinorama's probably going away. To be honest with you, I think that that land is too valuable to keep. And since Triceratops Spin is not running anymore, I just think it's probably going away. But it is such a fun area. So then I was able to go through some paths I'd never been on before, which was a lot of fun. As many times as I've been to the Animal Kingdom, I feel like I always find something new. I really love it. It's such a great place. One of my favorites by far places to be. And for some reason, the shutting down didn't bother me so much there. Because like I said, there are always kiosks that are not open there, but they had enough open that it was okay. So before I give you my overall opinions, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button below and the notification icon. And if you could smash that like icon, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps this channel, helps other people find this channel. So that would be great help. Thanks so much. Overall, Disney just doesn't really feel like Disney World right now. There were some things that I really liked about it. If you're expecting there not to be crowds, you're too late. There are crowds. The one thing I did like about it, though, was that I love the spacing that they have in the lines and the queues. The 6-foot spacing. I know you're probably like, what? That's a little weird. But I didn't realize how much being bunched together in those lines bothered me until I had room. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really nice to have that extra room. I feel like it's a little sad at Disney right now because, things just aren't open. And there's just kind of a weird feeling about that. I love mobile order, but mobile order is kind of a pain in the neck right now because everybody's doing mobile order and they're trying to figure it out, and there aren't that many places to eat, and so we're all trying to eat at the same places, and so the lines, even when you do mobile order, you're still waiting a long time to get your food. So my suggestion would be place your order, and then, 10 minutes before you're going to be where you need to be to get it, say that you're there ready to go, because you're going to wait at least 10 minutes in line, hanging out for them to get to your order, because there are just so many mobile orders they're trying to get done. But the cast members were great. I felt like they really are glad to be back, and they're glad to be helping you, and they're trying very hard. There are people all over the place with signs about masks and how to wear masks. And that's great. I loved that. And they are quite aggressive about it. You have to have your nose and your mouth covered. There is no questions asked. I saw them, one kid had a gaiter on before he went into Hollywood Studios, and they stopped that family and said, he can't wear that. They've got to have a different kind of mask on. And when they threw a fit, the Disney person didn't even blink an eye. They were like, there are signs everywhere about what kind of masks are acceptable. So, they're really trying to take care of people and take care of the crowd and keep them safe, and I appreciate that. But overall, it just felt odd. It just has a little bit of a sad undercurrent to it. It's a little depressing. Yes, I had a great time. Yes, it's lovely still. I love the new castle painting, the way that it's painted. I know that's controversial, but I do. I love it. I think it's beautiful. But, until they get more stuff open, it just doesn't feel the same. It just doesn't feel the same. And Epcot certainly doesn't feel the same with all of those construction walls. It's crazy construction in Future World. So wearing the mask didn't bother me, except it is hot. And you don't realize how hot it is until you go to a relaxation station and take that mask off, or until you're eating something and you take the mask off because you're eating and drinking. And then you realize, the mask makes it much hotter, makes it feel much hotter. So just be aware of that before you go. I think it's fine to go. I think you're safe. I never once felt like I was not safe in the parks. On the buses, they're assigning seats. On the monorail, they're only letting one group of people on each bench. So if for me, it was only me, so I was the only one on the bench in the monorail. They're not letting anybody stand in the monorail, so they're never crowded, and they have nice dividers. So I just never felt at risk. I felt like they did a really nice job of keeping everybody safe and trying very hard to keep everybody safe. But like I said, it just doesn't feel right. There's just something missing. There's a quality that's just not there, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's that there's so much that's closed, or or what it is, but there is definitely something missing. You know, one thing I heard a lot was that people want FastPass Plus back. I'm not sure I agree with that. You know, yes, lines are long. They are. Lines are long. Lines at Disney are always long. But the nice thing is that at least without FastPass Plus, you're all standing in line together, and the line is moving, which is important. The line is moving, which I really appreciated. But, you know, bottom line, it's still Disney. I still enjoyed myself. I still think you'll enjoy yourself. But just know that it does feel a little bit off. It's a little, you know, if you're used to just eating wherever you want to eat and just picking up a Dole Whip here or an ice cream there or you know, a hot dog. I hate that Casey's isn't open right now. You know, it just isn't going to happen. You know, you stand in line for everything. I had to stand in line to get into the Emporium to go shopping. So, you know, just be aware that that's happening. But they're trying so hard. They're trying so hard to make everybody feel special and welcome. And so that does make a difference. And, you know, the cast is doing the absolute best that they can possibly do with the situation that they've been given. So, but you can also feel the difference that there's no live performances happening. There's a lack of sound. There's a lack of music, of just kind of that activity. You know, no Indiana Jones happening, no Streetmosphere happening, no, you know, stuff like that. And I didn't realize that I was missing that until just right now. I just thought of that is something that I kind of is in the back of my head. So that's what's happening at Disney. Like I said, if you missed my first part where I talk about Walt Disney World and Hollywood Studios specifically and some of the resorts, click right here. I'll put that banner right back up here for you. Be sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon so that you never miss when I upload a video. And make sure you smash that like button for me. It really helps the channel. I'd really appreciate it to share. If you want to leave a comment, let me know what you think about what's going on. If you have any questions about what I experienced, what's happening, please feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer all questions down there, or if you want to, you can go to thegoofyguy.com and get a hold of me there. I'm also on Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter, and you can see all that below. So be sure and also sign up for the newsletter. You know, go out and sign up for the newsletter because you'll be able to keep up to date with everything that's happening. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. I know you have a lot of choices of places that you can spend your time listening to Disney information, and I appreciate that you just decided to spend it with me. Thanks so much, and until next time, I'll talk to you soon.